Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of All Night Long with the Fox, brought to you by Radio Dentata, as well as Night Moves with the Fox Studio.com and Night Move Studio, our new YouTube channel. I'm your host, the Fox, for about the next half an hour or however the show may go, unless they kick me off. On the show tonight, it's a great pleasure for me. We've been doing shows on and off for a couple of years now with Daisy Duxe, who has, she's kind of like, I guess you call it the CEO, I've been told, of a couple of different stripper shows, like for dancers and whatnot, down in the States. This one happens to be with the new Queen of the Stage title lady, Lacey Rain, who is with Stripper Palooza, which I'm believing is Stripper Palooza #2. Am I correct?
Yes, you are.
How are you doing tonight, Lacey?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. Do you want to tell us first a little bit of detail how you got involved in Stripper Palooza, how long you've known Daisy Duxe, if you know her at all, or if you're just a performer, a little bit of history on you?
Sure. I've been dancing at nightclubs for about 8 years, and I've always wanted to be a feature, but in order to get into the featuring agency, you have to have all kinds of credits, and you got to know someone who knows someone, and they pretty much have to sign your soul away to get in. And what happened was I ended up running into Daisy Duxe, who's a really, really amazing and talented dancer, and she hooked me up with her agent. And the agent, Frank Bain, told me, you know, you need to start doing some more credits and, you know, start competing and everything like that. So Christina set me up with Daisy Duxe, who is just, you know, one of the sweetest girls I've ever met in this industry. And she invited me down to Kalamazoo, Michigan to compete.
And was it anywhere near what you anticipated?
It was actually more scary than I thought it was going to be. I wasn't really sure what I was walking into. Daisy did a phenomenal job answering all of my questions. I was texting her at like 3 in the morning, asking her, you know, the most inane things. And she was just so patient with me. And when I got to Kalamazoo and I went into the club, I almost kind of turned around and ran out.
Wow.
There were a bunch of girls practicing on stage, and I got really scared. And then Daisy came over and introduced herself to me, and she sat me at the bar, got me a Red Bull, and told me it'd be okay.
Now, you've been dancing in clubs for how long before this show, this contest?
8 years.
8 years? You're like a veteran at it.
Well, I'm a big fish in a small pond. There's not many clubs here in New Hampshire, and you know, it was nice because I was sort of separated from what else was going on, so it gave me a lot of creative leeway to just go up there and, you know, do whatever the hell I wanted to do.
Now, if you don't mind going back in time a little bit, what inspired you to become a dancer in the first place?
Oh, geez. A couple different things. When I was younger, and I'm not even really sure where I saw this, but I ended up seeing a video clip of Margaret Cho. And later on, I also saw a video clip of a featured dancer called Rita Atlanta, who happens to be the mother of my agent. And
Wow.
I just loved how in control the women were of the crowd, and just the complete decadence and the whole like shock value of just taking your clothes off and not giving a damn, and you know, this is how I was born to deal with it. And I loved that attitude.
How many shows did you do? How many dances, pardon me, did you do taking your clothes off before you got over what I call stage fright? Or did you ever have stage fright?
I have a very weird stage fright. I have the whole I hope I don't fall on my face kind of stage fright, but at the time it was never about, oh my gosh, everybody's looking at me, because I was kind of, you know, like, yeah, you know, this is okay, and you know, sex is okay, and being naked is okay. It's all a natural part of life, and I feel like I'm kind of leading some anti-puritanical battle.
Wow.
So I really like it.
So as far as your stage fright, what you're calling falling on your face or tripping or whatever it may be, label it whatever you want to, do you still get that to this day, or did it eventually just fade?
Every time I'm about to go on stage, right when they're calling my name, even at my own club where I've been for 5 years, right when they say, coming up next is Lacey Rain, and right before I step onto that stage, I feel like, crap, I can't do this. And then the second I get up there and get my music, it's okay.
Well,
I just black out and it's all okay.
now that you say that, your boyfriend, or is it your fiance, sorry?
Yes, my fiance, who's also my manager.
He just made a comment by email, and that's why I'm bringing this comment up in reply to your comment. I think you know you're doing the right thing when to this day every performance you get your form of stage fright. Mm-hmm. I was listening to a TV special going back now about 4 or 5 years ago. Your fiance will probably appreciate this. I was like really not expecting to see this. It was a TV special, and I forget who the host was, but it was a split-screen interview with, of all people, Mick Jagger, and the other one was Bryan Adams, a huge Canadian rock star. And this host asked both of these performers how and when they ever got over stage fright. And Mick Jagger, of all people, said, "What do you mean get over stage fright? I still get stage fright to this day. The day that you get over stage fright is the day that you leave whatever you're doing." And Bryan Adams came on, and he said the same thing. He said, "Just before I go get my name called and I go out to do a performance, I take a quick trip to the men's room, the change room, and puke my guts out and go out, and I'm no longer Bryan Adams. I'm now with the band." So I'm really impressed to hear you say that.
Honestly, it's the same thing. Right before I go on to a show, I have to go to the bathroom like 3 or 4 times because I have to pee. Like, even if I already went, I still have to go. I have to go again. I have to check my makeup one more time. And the bigger the show, the harder it is for me. You know, when I was at Stripperpalooza and they called my name up, I was actually a little late going to stage because I just kind of stood there and went, "Oh, that's me," and then didn't move.
Wow. Now, when you walk out, I know that once you're on stage doing your performance, your dance, whatever you're doing, I know that everything just becomes, you're relaxed with yourself, you've been doing it for a while, you know your routine, you listen to the music, whatnot. But when you first walk out on stage, do you feel all the eyes on you?
Honestly, when I'm on stage, I don't notice my music. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't notice other people. And I know that sounds absolutely insane, but I literally will black out when I'm up there. The second my foot hits that stage, you know, even when I'm at work, you know, one of the girls will come up to me after and she'll be like, "Oh, what was that second song that you danced to? I love it." And I really have no idea.
Wow. Now, what about, how do you know when you sort of black out for your performance and it comes to the end of your performance, how do you know when to leave?
People start screaming, and I'm usually tired at that point. The longer I'm on stage, the more back into my own head I'll get, but the first, like, minute, 2 minutes in, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Okay, okay. Now, do you have, obviously, a different stage experience and a different crowd experience every different club that you go to?
Oh, absolutely. The trends that differ from club to club and state to state are, you know, amazing. When I was working in Massachusetts, a lot of the dancers were doing a lot of break dance style dancing, and I learned how to do freezes that way. When I went out to Vegas, it was all like showgirl style, and I learned how to hyperextend my arms and move just my chest. And when I was down in Miami, it was all pole tricks, and I learned a bunch of pole tricks. So I kind of picked up like a little bit of everything because I don't like to stay in one place too long. But yeah, the trends is definitely different.
Now, did you, as far as your performance goes, anywhere you go, did you try to style yourself after another performer, or are you doing the Lacey Rain trademark?
All right, that's kind of a tricky question.
I know.
I'm probably going to end up burning a bridge when I say this.
No, no,
But
no, not at all.
I hate country music. I absolutely hate it. I hate the way it sounds. But if I'm in a club and I think that that's what the audience wants to hear, you know, I'll definitely play country and I'll put a big smile on my face when I do it. So, I mean, I am there to entertain the crowd, and I will do what I think the crowd wants to be entertained with. But at the same time, you know, I am going to go up there and I'm going to do every trick that I know how to do, the best of my ability. And if I see another girl doing something that I'm doing, then I'll find a way to make it better.
Wow.
You know, get my own.
What is the toughest, if you remember, what would be the toughest performance you've ever done?
Well, I've only had 3 shows.
Oh, okay, okay.
But
Now,
I can the hardest stage show I had.
Yeah.
Okay, there was it was when I was working at a club in Massachusetts, and there was this girl who had worked there for a lot longer than I'd even been dancing at that point, and she just was very rude, and she was one of those girls who would copy everything that you did, from the way you wore your hair to your gown to your music to all your dance moves. And it happened to be one day that she was going on stage in front of me, and she went up there and did everything that I do, like in the right order, you know, to the same music, and I was going on next. I'm like, oh, crap, what do I do now?
Wow.
And that was awful, following her. I had to follow her all night, too.
Who taught you to do pole dancing?
Me and YouTube.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, I've talked to a few other performers, and they tell me, which I don't doubt one little bit, but I want to hear your version. They tell me to do a really good pole dance, you have to be super strong in your legs, plus your upper body, as well as kind of thinking a step ahead all the time.
Yeah, you know, and it kind of bums me out that, you know, a lot of dancers don't get as much credit as I think they deserve. You know, I did sports my whole life growing up, and honestly, nothing has kicked my ass more than pole dancing. You know, you really have to be in tune with what you're doing, or, you know, the pole's just going to dump you on your ass, essentially. And you have to be, core strength, I think, is what's more important than anything. Core strength and upper body.
Wow. Have you ever had, quote, a mishap pole dancing?
Every day.
No.
I fall probably, I'd say I mess up a few times a week, but full-on fall, I've only had a couple of nasty falls, luckily, knock on wood. I got jumped. I was on the, I was on a spinning pole. It was about 22 feet high, roughly. And I went all the way up to the top, and I went to flip upside down, and the pole was greasy up there or something, and I slipped and I fell right on the back of my head and my shoulders.
Ow!
Like dead fall. It was frightening.
Oh my God, that's brutal.
Yeah, needless to say, I didn't do that trick again for like.
What inspired you? What made you want to go and be part of Stripperpalooza 2?
Well, it helped that I had a fire lit under my ass about not getting as many bookings if I didn't get good credits. But, you know, I felt that